Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a few DC updates for you today, starting with the newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much to Flo's Film Couch and Red Coat Hanger Productions, both of you for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show family as members. I very much appreciate it, and also to the rest of the members and subscribers, I truly appreciate all of your support. All right, now let's get on with the topics of the day by pressing on the like button right now. It takes you just a little bit, but truly help me out, so please hit that like button. New Superman and Lois teaser. This came out today officially from the CW Superman and Lois. Now they said trailer, but it's really a teaser, and it's kind of interesting. It really is. There's one thing I really like about this, and I'll show it to you here. Now I'm not going to play it because I might get tagged once again, kind of like I did for the Batwoman trailer, so I'm not going to do that, but we'll go through it. Now this is definitely what I would say is not it's like the art for it, or they just put a filter on it and things like that, because it's not truly what you see there. It's heavily filtered, but it gives you the idea of what this is about, right? So you see him go through the glass. It's painted in a way. I gotta say right off the bat, that's a terrible pose. That's a terrible pose. I don't know, however you want to put it. Like one leg should be down and one up or something. It just looks weird like that. I don't know. I don't like it. They should have thought that, much more through. But definitely, it kind of tells you what this is really about. This is more about family more than anything, and it kind of shows you that towards the end of the trailer. But one of the things that I truly like about this is finally, he has red eye beams. Yes, the one thing that bothered me about this Superman, and even Kara, Supergirl, the CW, is their blue eye beams. I'm like, why? Why in the world do they have? They have red eye beams. Okay, so I am truly happy, and I think it's because of the whole mess where. Because Warner Brothers has, different divisions and whatever, and one's not happy with you. I don't know. But before then, they were like, well, we can't call Batman. We have to solve the hero in Gotham City. Oh, that guy in Metropolis. And then when they finally got Superman, says, well, he's not really, we can't give him red eye beams. He needs to have blue eye beams, even though the Smallville Clark Kent had red eye beams. But he wasn't Superman. They called him the Blur, the red blur. So it's like, I think with the multiverse thing going on, they are more, not confident, but more able to actually just freely make the characters how they were supposed to be, in the way they look, in the color of their freaking eye beams, to finally match the actual character. So I am truly happy to see red eye beams here, right? Even though Kingdom Come Brandon Routh Superman had red eye beams, okay? But now we finally get Tyler Hoechlin has red eye beams. I'm actually kind of curious if Supergirl Season 6 is going to have red eye beams or not. Because I think the way they could probably just pull this off and just explain away is because of the crisis on Infinite Earths. After the crisis, I don't think they use their eye beams after that. So maybe, that's part of one of the things that had happened and they're allowed to do. I know it's like a weird pet peeve, but come on. He needs to have red eye beams. And so I'm really happy he has red eye beams here now. Now, what exactly is going on here? Like this, there's the gem or the crystal or whatever. Each one, of course, represents their family, and he goes in there and he pulls them together. So it's Superman holding on to all that cable of family or whatever, and to keep it together. He's keeping the family together. So that kind of tells you right there, this is probably not going to be one of those Superman series where there's going to be, there could still do it. Don't get me wrong. But I think the underlying theme of Superman and Lois is family. It's the Kent family. Meet the Kent family, and it's about him trying to keep their family together. And I think that is the underlying theme here. That's why he's just pulling the cable to make sure that they all stick together. And it's about the super family, essentially the Kent family, right? So I think that's the whole underlying theme of this whole thing. It displays that well. Aside from a few things that I don't like this first, that stature just doesn't work for me. But the suit does. I love the suit. I love that there are red eye beams. Red eye beams, right? And also maybe some symbolism where he's shooting the laser and it's destroying his family. Like it might have to do something within the story where he has to make choices that could ultimately destroy him and his family, and in which he has to work to bring it together. So that's what I'm getting from this little teaser. I can't wait to find out on February 23rd, and I'll definitely review Superman and Lois when it comes out. All right, well, that is it for the DC shows. Let's get on with the movies. There's not much out because it's almost New Year's, and so a lot of people are going to take a break. But definitely there are some cool nuggets for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Connie Nielsen gave Zack Snyder her blessing for Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, so this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. It's an extensive interview. I gotta say, some of the interview that Dave, the film junkie, gave is like way better than a lot of questions that the Hollywood Reporter was asking her. But it's still cool. It's still cool to hear about her. And there's this segment that I pulled out, and in regards to Zack Snyder's Justice League, where the interviewer asked her this. You previously told me a great story about Zack and how he played matchmaker for you and Patty, resulting in your Wonder Woman casting. Well, the day after we last talked, it was announced that Zack was going to be finishing his Justice League movie. Were you pretty blown away by that news? And Connie Nielsen says, well, I have this thing where I can't lie, so I don't know the timing of one or the other, but Zack had already called me to ask if I would be okay with a reissue of the film with changes. And I asked him, well, will you bring back the Amazon chapter the way you had written it and had filmed it? And he said, absolutely. And then I said, and Zack, will you also bring back my quite incredible stunt running up the walls? And he said, you got it. So I said, yeah, definitely. You've got my blessing. Absolutely. Now, I can't believe they took that out because there's no, she clearly had no action scenes in Justice League, not Zack Snyder, but in Justice League. No action scenes, right? She just I think from what I remember, she pulls the mother box and just runs for her dear life. So that's it. But apparently in Zack Snyder Justice League, she does a lot of more action, a lot more stunts, a lot of incredible things in there that we didn't get to see. We wanted to see the Queen fight to stop Steppenwolf and to stop him from getting the mother box and to save the Amazons, right? That's the Queen, right? We didn't get to see any of that, right? So obviously that didn't happen, and we're going to see it now. So that's cool. That's great. Since Zack recently did some additional photography, did you have to do any ADR? She said, no, I think we did all of our stuff. What was really sad was how much stuff we filmed that wasn't in the film. And I think that's part of what made Justice League, although it says Justice League 2017, less cohesive as a viewing experience. The intent was not the same during the editing as it was during shooting. So a lot of things were cut out from there. I'm very curious to see how much. Did you do any Justice League reshoots with the other director who took over for Zack in 2017? We shall not name the other director that's named Joss Whedon. I'm not kidding you. In the article, it says that the other director. And she said this, I didn't do any of those either. I don't think that other director was that interested in the Amazons. I would have to assume that. So the director, Joss Whedon, was not interested in the Amazons, right? Where this dude that was about to direct Wonder Woman, the TV series, who claims he's all for women power, empowerment stuff. No interest in the Amazons. Literally a culture of women, of powerful, strong women. Well, what do you know? So that's interesting, and I'm definitely, I'm looking forward to see how much more of the Amazons are displayed their power, their fighting, and of course, a lot of them get killed by Steppenwolf, but it does show how evil and how powerful and dangerous and violent Steppenwolf could definitely be, in order to have Wonder Woman herself be very angry. In the early Zack Snyder's trailers, right, Justice League trailers, you see her facial. She's not smiling, smirking, or anything. She is intent. Her eyes are like almost blood, just like looking at him like, I'm gonna kill you. So we want that. We want that angry, grief-stricken, kind of angry Wonder Woman for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think we're definitely going to get that. So that's awesome, and it's great that Connie Nielsen's super excited. We're super excited to see her in Zack Snyder's Justice League as well. All right, now speaking of Zack Snyder's Justice League, is this thing came out? Zack Snyder himself is already throwing us little bits of hype to get it up to 11, like you said, Zack. Of course, that will come with the next trailer. We understand, but every little bit helps. Zack Snyder's Justice League JL Book 1. What? So on Vero, Zack Snyder posted this picture of JL Book 1. And there's a picture of Batman, How I Started, right? And I gotta say, this is the JL Bible, if you will, book 1 of the Bible. It's like amazing. It's sacred. And it's gonna have all those awesome storyboards. Now, one day, I hope he keeps it in great condition so that one day we get to the Zack Snyder Museum and we can pull it out, or it'll be on display and we can look at every single page and stuff like that. That'll be pretty nice. But definitely, that's exciting to see that I think he's kind of hyping us, going through that journey as we get closer and closer to Zack Snyder's Justice League coming out in March. Book 1. Now, there's a lot of content. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know, because I'm thinking it as well. If there's a book 1, there's got to be a book 2. There's got to be a book 3. Okay, I get it. It could just be storyboard books. There's only so much you can fit in a book. But imagine if the book was this big. I mean, how many storyboards fit for one movie? I don't know. Maybe there's probably multiple books about that. So it may not be anything, to give away that this is actually like part 1, Justice League part 1 or something. But it is compelling. I wonder how many books are there for Justice League, whether it's part 1 or that's the entirety of part 1. I don't know. But people are very acute in looking at further into the page, right? Okay, you see Batman there is I don't think that's his ultimate costume. I think that's one of the test costumes there, but it looks fantastic. He looks huge, buff. I hope that Ben Affleck signs on to actually become the Batman in his own series or movie, or however, the Batman versus Deathstroke. Hopefully we get that announcement soon. But and I think maybe it's going to come out after Zack Snyder's Justice League. Who knows? But it's great to see that there. It's great to see just tape that on top of there. But on the back, you notice there's some stuff happening in the background. Mercury GB Teases at the Snyderverse had honed in, zeroed in on it a little bit further. He put a little filter on it so you can see what's happening back there. And you see some kind of like an R or something and a D or something. So you're wondering what is that? What's going on in the background, right? And then you go down, and Butterbar, Incredible Arts, Butterbar says, but the logos are surrounded by lightning and rubble, which seems to be moving in slow motion, which confirms that it will be open, right? So this is the Rat Pack. That's DC logo. And it has some lightning that will open with Superman's death in slow-mo. So that kind of confirms that even down to the storyboard, Zack was already thinking about how the opening of Justice League was going to be. it was going to start off, and it definitely won't have the Rat Pack anymore, I don't think, unless they because of how things work out. That Rat Pack at that time was probably involved, but if not, well, he was already thinking about the opening scene through like the logos, right? It was kind of cool because I used to do this when I was doing little storyboards for short films, and I would be like, I'll put my logo first, and then and slow fade in, slow fade out, But this is cool. You had to see like Rat Pack and some lightning, DC logo. The DC logo, of course, changed now since then, and then. We'll probably see that they're reenacting in a way the death of Superman, probably from other perspectives. It's probably someone's nightmare or so on and so forth. That's cool. It just takes you back. It's like a on last time on Justice League, or last time on Batman v Superman kind of thing, and it's kind of cool. It's not going to have that. It's not to have the voice, but I'm just saying, like, it's like Batman v Superman, showing a little bit of Man of Steel. This one shows a little bit of Batman v Superman, right? So just like what John Garza had put out that article a while back on Real Anarchy. So that's awesome, and I think that's going to be something. I don't know if it's going to be the same. I think Zack said it's going to be the movie that he made back then. It's definitely going to be that one. So it's going to be we kind of figured out how it's going to open now. So awesome! I can't wait to see it. Man, I can't wait to see it. Okay, so. Next, in terms of Zack Snyder's Justice League, AT&T actually joins the Justice League hype. They joined Zack Snyder's Justice League hype. They put out a tweet here in response to Geo, where Geo put out, says, I'm glad AT&T HBO Max paid for this one, because he took a picture of back then where in New York Times Square, where I have a cut, it's done, Zack Snyder, all this releases Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut fandom had pitched in to put it up, and so that's in response to yesterday where I talked about Rachel Salinas. And by the way, this is Dallas. Someone told me that's Dallas, Chris. So it's not New York, but it's AT&T district, and this is what's out there now, which is awesome. We're probably going to see it a lot more in many places. They're really marketing it like an actual movie, right? AT&T jumped right in and says, Zack Snyder's Justice League is gonna be mighty, with a gif of Darkseid or Uxas. And a lot of people also noticed that they put out the hashtag. They hashtagged it to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And we all know it's going to be called Zack Snyder's Justice League already. But there was still some question about, well, Chris, then why does it say hashtag the Snyder Cut? Well, as marketing, it's easy to do hashtag the Snyder Cut because a lot of people know now kind of know what the Snyder Cut is. It's just a nice marketing promotion kind of hashtag. It's like when you do all these other hashtags for certain movies that not necessarily is the title, but definitely Zack Snyder's Justice League is definitely title. Like it really matters anymore because it's coming out. In fact, to even make it a little bit cooler, is how it's going to come out. We've talked about how it's going to come out on HBO Max. Yesterday I showed you that Apple TV's got it almost prepped up. Roku's getting it prepped up as well. So you're starting to see things. Now Zack Snyder's Justice League is on Google Play as well. So I pulled up the Google Play site. You can look up Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is it. You can add it to wish list on Google Play. So I think, I don't know, but I think these are the different ways that Zack Snyder is going to or Jason Kilar, the company, is going to make it available for everyone to watch it internationally. So you could be able to watch it on Google Play or in some other of those apps that are coming out that you can watch it from your phone or from your TV if you have that app on your TV. So other than HBO Max. So if you're thinking about, Chris, I want to support Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I can't watch it. There is no HBO Max yet. I think looking like they're gonna find a way to make sure it's available through other means. Either PVOD or all these other devices streamings, and especially things like Google Play, where you can shop for it and rent it or whatever. I think that's how it's going to come out that way if you don't have HBO Max. So you can ultimately support Zack Snyder's Justice League through other means. And it will all collectively show how much people rented, how much people clicked on it and viewed on it. They will all add up together, although a lot of it they want you to watch HBO Max. But if HBO Max is not there yet, it looks like they're finding other ways, other means to get it to straight to your TV or to your phone, right? And so there are multiple ways to get it, and I think they're definitely working on that. They're gonna, and then you're ultimately are going to be able to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League like the rest of us in the entire world that is able to watch this epic 4-hour movie. So don't worry, they're working on it, and I think it's going to happen. So don't worry. They're going to make sure, everyone gets to experience this absolutely next year. Absolutely. All right. So that is pretty much it. Like I said, it's a pretty short day, but a lot of great Zack Snyder's Justice League goodness as we end the year on this. I've got a Wonder Woman 1984 spoiler discussion or breakdown video coming out, later on after you see this video. And then I also have one video to end the year on. So it's a little bit of a review, tinfoily, if you will. But it's about the Snyder Cut. But definitely one more to end the year on in terms of tinfoil-y goodness, and then I'll leave it at that, and I'll probably see you next year after those two or three more videos, depending on if something happens tomorrow. Then I'll probably have to update you, right? So but let's get on with the Ping Pong Flix members questions and comments. And then I've been getting posted saying that some of the comments and questions are too long. I have to agree. I enjoy reading a large letters and essays, but if you could keep it to one screen without me scrolling down, like if you keep it to like that would be good. If just keep it to that, and then it would be easier for me to go through, and the video would not be so long. All right, so let's get on with the comments and questions. The first one's from Brandon Hall. So this is kind of exceptionally long, but I'll read it this time. But if you could keep it to like right here from top to bottom, like I can still see your name and read the whole thing. But I appreciate your comment and question. In any case, all right. As we get more members, it's going to be a lot longer, but I definitely still want to read it on the video. I'm glad to see you being acknowledged. Brandon Hall, I'm glad to see you being acknowledged for your platform as a source. You have most certainly come a long way. Take it all in. It is much deserved. Well, thank you, Brandon. Now, to be clear, as an artist, I wholeheartedly advocate creative freedom and integrity. I don't have a problem with directors, storytellers putting their mark on a project they spend years of their lives with. That isn't the issue at all, and it isn't just about fighting for the vision of one director and casting all others aside. Not in the least. However, I am a stickler for consistency. I'm a stickler for staying within the confines of something already pre-established. When things become disjointed, it creates a mess that is more often than not unaccounted for. No, we don't want the same Marvel formula for DC. And again, no, this isn't about Marvel versus DC. I only bring the other studio into focus as a point of reference. You can't really get around it. They did, in fact, establish the shared universe concept with great success. The thing is, I don't want all things to be same tonally. The stories should have their own aesthetics and tones befitting the story and the character traits. Yeah, when you have a character that has been established in 2 films, and we can assume her present stance in a third when she gets her sequel, there is something the audience is looking for based on those pre-existing characteristics. Not everyone reads these articles. The average audience isn't watching these streams. There are ways to clean up these divergences without collapsing everything else put before it. Could it be as simple as a narration to explain these films as them nothing to do with all the others, a screen crawl, a caption, something explanatory that subverts expectation? Otherwise, you have this. Joker worked because it was already pre-established. They had nothing to do with any of the canonical films. I think that's how you say it. Matt Reeves, the Batman, already illustrates the same. Wonder Woman 1984 falls in the middle of an ongoing storyline. So you either separate it from all other pre-existing stories and have it splintering into the multiverse with all its contradictions, or you leave it open to scrutiny. And it is receiving lots for its departure from what was already accepted by audiences. The whole universe concept within the films is new and not yet established mainstream. It is quite convenient to fall back on when invoking creative freedoms. The point I was making is that I do not have an issue with these variations or characters or other stories, but it can be done without jarring the audience. There should be no questions of does one thing connect to another, or is this or that canon or not. There should be no confusion in the audience if the things are handled gracefully and with the audience in mind, as opposed to just throwing content at us and we accept it for the sake of supporting vision. You were right. There is no one right way to see a thing. I just hold these content creators to a higher standard than what we have been getting. There's no excuse. Congratulations again. Congratulations again. I wish you continued success. Much love and always take care. Well, thank you, Brandon Hall. Yeah. And it's an interesting situation in this aspect, because I know there are people who are like, well, it's kind of like Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and things like that. And that's interesting because that's like two different directors, two different visions. This one is literally, it's Patty Jenkins did the first one, Patty Jenkins did the second one, where she changed the tone, she changed the world in a way. And yeah, you can also argue that she changed the time too. So changing the time ultimately changed how it was supposed to be, how the world is around, how Wonder Woman's around that area. So a lot of people can't see that, but again, that's her thing. And she tried to tell us that it wasn't a sequel for a reason, right? And I think, like you said, that is difficult because it's still Gal Gadot. There's still Steve Trevor, so it is a sequel, but in a way, it's like another movie altogether. And it definitely is another movie altogether. So for me, I appreciate the movie by itself. It does not necessarily continue on to Zack Snyder's work, I don't think. And like Zack said, it's up to us, I think, whether we want it to connect or not. And really, it just came out already. I'm really curious to see if Patty Jenkins continues, because there's still time to say, like, well, I don't want to do it, right? Because there's a few years from now, she still has to do Cleopatra and Rogue Squadron. How is Wonder Woman 3 going to be, right? How would you tie it all together? But I am going to the breakdown of this because I've watched it another time again, and I can definitely see the message there that she's trying to convey. But ultimately, like, a lot of the tone, the things like the action scenes, she should have got Zack Snyder's action crew back. That's one of the things that I really wish she brought back the stunt crew. Super email released the Jenkins cut. Well, that one is, but you know what? I'm wondering about the Jenkins, because she said that the Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, the movie ending was probably not as actiony, right? So I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like what you saw in 1984. Love it or not, I actually enjoyed the first Wonder Woman's action. I think that it was cool, it was epic. And it showed her power and stuff like that. So I'm really curious what her version would have been. I think it might have been very similar to 84 in a way. If Jamie Howley, if they cut the Amazon scene, it would have taken some actors, Robin Wright, completely out of the movie. Also, I didn't see or feel that as a double opening. I'm not sure I've even heard that term before until people started mentioning. Yeah, I don't feel like it's a double opening because like I said, I watched it again. And there was a message there she tried to convey, that she wished she listened to her aunt and her mother, and about not taking shortcuts and seeing the truth. And so a lot of that is the moral of the story, as you will, as she goes into the present time. Amparo, that idea of Wonder Woman 3 to be set in the future is so cool. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Wouldn't it be cool to have a dystopian future somehow? It'd be pretty cool. Big Rooster. People should really care less if Patty Jenkins doesn't come back, because there's plenty of directors who could make a great Wonder Woman movie. Yeah, I'm going to heart that, because I actually agree. Like, it doesn't have to be Patty Jenkins. If she's not feeling it, take a step back and just like, all right, let's have somebody else do it. And like, if it's future, Denis Villeneuve now. Yes, the guy who made Blade Runner 2049, let's have him do a Wonder Woman movie. As you see there, I was just trying to push the dystopian future type movie. Wonder Woman, let's do that somehow in some fashion, would be great. The mall scene was garbage. All right, I'll give you that. The whole movie, that scene, it's not that great. it's not that, like I said, they should have stuck with Zack Snyder's stunt crew and things like that. But no, she started out trying to make it like the Donner Lester type of thing, Superman thing, and then it, like I said in my review, like uh, it was very 80s, very cheesy 80s, and then it just went away. Like none of the other action scenes, aside from maybe a little bit of the desert scene, but definitely the White House scene wasn't cheesy, wasn't campy. They didn't have any of that. So it's kind of interesting how it's very different. But so the White House scene, action scene, much, much better than the mall scene. George, hi Chris, great vid as usual. As for Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm primed and ready. I know I will watch the SHIT out of this. It looks like in the UK Google Play HV it listed, so I will be buying it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So maybe okay. So UK, United Kingdom folks, Google Play, check it out right now. On another note, I bet Hamada didn't say half that stuff and knows full well the Snyderverse is going to continue if HBO Max get all those sales and clicks or subs. I agree. Just trying to be a Billy Big Bollocks while he can't. And that big screen showing the trailer from the AT&T headquarters. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Zach P. Come on, the campiness of Wonder Woman 1884 was the best part. Why not throw the whole vibe of the movie back into the 80s? So there you have someone who actually likes that part of the 80s, right? It's very divisive, this thing. And hey, that may have worked. I don't know. That the whole vibe, if the whole vibe was like that, you know, I'm sure there's gonna be, it's still gonna have the same divisiveness and things like that. But I don't know. Right now, it's not working. Universally, it's not working. Universally, it's not working. Even though I enjoyed the movie. Roger Benavides, Wonder Woman was horrible and nonsensical. I laughed the entire movie and not in a good way. They used the emergency broadcasting system to say Pete touched molecules while on FaceTime. What? So yeah, that's one of the things I was going to talk about and break down. It seems like a lot of people watched it. That you know that is one of the weird head scratcher things. I even thought I was like, but he has to physically touch them, so he can like, you know, touch them in a different way, and it's like touch. Okay, so yeah, well, I don't know. Doobie, hopefully the new still isn't Joker. Let us see him in the movie. The news still is in Joker. Yeah, no, we have not seen Joker yet. No one other than Grace Randolph and some few other people. I almost had the chance to see it, but I didn't. Not seen the new Joker. Red Coat Hanger Productions. Hey, I'm a newest member. Hey, Chris. Been casually watching your show for about a year. Really appreciated being such a positive outlet for news about DC films. So I appreciate it. Admittedly, I didn't start out as a fan of Zack's work and was very dismissible of the release the Snyder Cut community. But as I continue to learn more about it, all the good this movement's done, and the unfair treatment of the directors, I really came to respect you guys. I finally gave in and rewatched Man of Steel and BVS and found them both very good. So here's my quick blurb about, there's my quick blurb, but to my question. So I was a big fan of Aquaman for its spectacle. Some of the visuals and fights were absolutely amazing, even if the script was hard to sit through sometime. What would you like to see in Aquaman 2 in terms of story and tone? Thanks a bunch for all your videos. Glad to continue supporting you. Well, thank you. Truly appreciate it. Red Coat Hanger Productions. Yeah. What do I want to see in Aquaman 2? Well, in terms of story, I mean, they kind of revealed that it was going to be a little bit about family. So I probably expect it to be like Throne at Atlantis. And it's going to be sad because I think the queen's going to die. That's what happens in Throne of Atlantis. So something like that. And maybe something to do with, maybe he has a kid with Mera. I don't know. But definitely Orm takes back control of, and, Black Manta's involved. But I think I want to see it take the epic fight to the land dwellers, actually get there and be to show that this is a big issue. I mean, we already know it's a big issue, but actually see them invade and not just throw trash onto the sea, but have them try to invade, right? would be pretty intense and pretty cool. But more importantly, I wanted to look like those concept art for the original Aquaman, where they were about to invade. Atlantis was going to invade Sydney, Australia, and you see the flying fox, Batman, and you see Superman in the background. Wouldn't it be cool to just have all the Justice League members kind of show up to help out in that moment? That would be pretty epic and awesome. So yeah, in terms of tone, I think it will be darker. I think the first one kind of was a fun ride and stuff like that. I don't want to. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll compare it to Star Wars. It's a New Hope, and so we're gonna get the Empire Strikes Back of Aquaman. So I think that would potentially be very cool and very awesome. So we'll see though. Sean Gates. I'm always a little surprised when people dump on Aquaman. Of course, it's not as heavy as the Snyder movie. With the story, it absolutely could have been, but it's a good movie that functions as its own merits. And Arthur has a clear arc, beginning as Snyder's don't give a F version of Arthur and going on a journey into becoming king. It definitely has some King Arthur parallels of its own. And if you've ever read the T.H. White, The Once and Future King, the tone of that starts quite light and goes to a very dark place. Excuse me. Aquaman is a good movie. I don't rewatch it the way I do a Zack joint, but I like it. I genuinely believe Wonder Woman 1804 is a broken movie. But I don't know what to lay at Patty's feet or Warner Brothers' feet or the Ballcap's feet. What I do know is Patty made Monster and the OG Wonder Woman, and she's better than Wonder Woman 1984. I don't throw her under the bus just because I don't like this one movie. I'm glad she's doing a third one, and I hope it's as celebrated as the first one or better. On the subject of broken, the DCEU, but there's 3-year-old news. Much will depend on what happens going forward. I will watch what I want. As often as I want, I will ignore what doesn't do it for me, just like a buffet. Thank you. I know of no surer way to be heard by a larger corporation than with my time and my bank card. And on that note, restore the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse, please. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. It's like a buffet. Like I said, you can choose what you want to watch and choose you don't want to watch. Like, I don't care for Birds of Prey. The more I watch it, although there are characters or moments, it's not like a completely bad movie. I just don't care to watch more of it. So I'm just, I'm like, if I'm like, I'm going to watch another DC film, of course I'm going to pick Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, and, the first Wonder Woman, even Aquaman and stuff like that. Shazam, I think if my kids are around, definitely. But, you can pick and choose what you want to watch. Doobie, Maul is more Donner than Lester. Donner hijinks are cheesy slapsticks and lines with a wink and a smile. Bad vibrations. Lester hijinks are Ruby Goldberg accidents falling in a manhole. Doobie, the opening scene sets up the moral of the story, but is not necessary to the story. So narratively, it could have been cut, regardless if it's better, if it's the better scene of the two. Oh, okay. So you don't like, absolutely. If you feel that needs to be cut, it does, like I said, sets of the moral story. To me, it should stay, because that's one of like the best things of the movie, in my opinion. Zach P, the fight scenes were decent, the plot and storyline were great. I really found it campy like the old TV shows that were, and that was the best part. Why not go full 80s style? Like you said earlier about the full 80s vibe, I get there's Patty Jenkins were trying to really do that Wonder Woman TV series. I thought that was the 70s. I'm trying to remember, but take a look at that. For people who like that, take a look at the Wonder Woman TV series. I think it's out on HBO Max. Brent Coffee, the great show, Chris. I supported my local theater and saw Wonder Woman 84. There's several times in IMAX. The TV simply can't replace some of those scenes on the big screen. I agree. And I think there were only 2 scenes that were actually in IMAX, from what Garza said. The rest wasn't. I think it was the beginning and the ending, I think. And, I like Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be in IMAX. Like, it's if that's an IMAX, the whole thing is an IMAX. That's like one to see in like IMAX. Lee Fusion Vision Robinson. I myself am in the UK and do not want to miss out for F's sakes. Chris, Zach is watching. Give him a shout out to get HBO Max over here in the United Kingdom. We need it. I agree. I mean, you guys do need it. Like I said, if it may come out on UK Google Play now that someone else mentioned that. Hey, Chris, to go along with the other members saying that what they would do with Wonder Woman 3, Cersei, and you know who aside, well, y'all know I'd want a present day film to be Wonder Woman Lois Lane, of course. But even that aside, looking at what the comics did with Dr. Poison, Maru, she discovers an elixir to give her eternal youth, hence her being in the present day with Luthor. I take a cue from that. Diana sees a woman who looks just like Villainess from the first film. Taking part in an international medical conference, Diana goes to Lois to help her investigate this under the table in case it's nothing the League are needed for. The questions Diana struggles with: is this really her old enemy? What is she planning? What is it right for her to spare her life in the first film? Is it Diana's place to atone for that decision by being the one to take her down the short questions of justice? And also, if he may indulge, question 3 turns out to be the biggest value of Lois, helping her hear the way Lois pointed out important truths to Clark and Man of Steel, BVS. She is the voice of integrity to pull Diana back from giving in too much of her struggles, especially as she faces an obsession of her own, finding Luthor. Yeah, I truly appreciate your fan stories. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, will definitely see some Diana Lois interaction though in Justice League. So don't worry about that. Eric Bay, hey Chris, Patty Jenkins, knowing that she'd like to do a Superman film, of course, leads right to the idea, what if Patty directed Man of Steel 2, or whatever you want to call it. Also, could we expect to see Diana as a major supporting character in such a film because of how close the character is to Patty's heart? That would be pretty cool to see Wonder Woman and Superman share the screen together in their own film. I think that would be kind of nice. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Carlos, mahalo, Chris. Well, another DCU article that throws shade at Snyder. Notice there is no direct quote from Hamada himself. The answer is clear. Once the Snyder Cut blows up big, and it will, we'll be getting sequel news. By the way, loved Wonder Woman 1884. Yeah, it's overlong and messy, but it had such heart and real moments of beauty. No idea why it had such a negative reception from some quarters. Yeah, especially in the Snyder Cut community, because, I think because Jeff John's name in there, and they kind of like, we really just like throw that out, right? So it's like they saw his name there, and all of a sudden, conspiracy and just like, oh, he was responsible. And yeah, maybe he is responsible for a lot of the scenes and things like that, but it really hampers it. It doesn't help the conversation to that movie at all. So I guess we'll have to see, Wonder Woman 3. Does she use Jeff John's story, or is she going to go back to square one? What's going to happen with that? If she does still continue to do that. Lego Dinosaur, Wonder Woman set in a future world could work with Silver Swan. The DC Rebirth continuity, Vanessa's powers stem from an experimental nanite treatment she received that was supposed to allow her to walk again. Once her mind snaps, the nanites alter her physiology and transform her into the Silver Swan, a cybernetic alter ego. In this form, Vanessa can easily match Wonder Woman in a fight and is equipped with a pair of bionic wings which allow her to fly or use their razor-sharp edges to slice through targets. She can also project devastating sonic blasts with her voice, and it has a knife-edged claws at the ends of her fingertips. The post-rebirth iterations nanites can also be used to hack any and every computerized mainframe in the world. Dinah commenting on, I already like this because that sounds awesome. Her technological interfacing potentially could rival Cyborg the Justice League. Whoa. Wow. I'm just thinking about that now, and that would be pretty sweet. So there is some type of story out there. Like, I don't know too much of the Wonder Woman comics, but there is precedence to having it in the future. I'm going to read this one, but next time, please, if you could just leave it to like that length, that would be good. Interesting video. That's up to you. Comment from Zach, I think, is his polite way of saying yes and no to the continuity question. For me, the answer is a no. Let's be frank. When Zach departed, Warner Brothers Picture destroyed and constructed what he, Chris Terrio, and David Ayer built to the point of it being unrecognizable. Continuity and tone of the films after Justice League has been all over the place with no consistency. Everything from comedic PG-13 to R, kid-friendly. I think I've pretty much read this from you many times before. Yeah, I mean, the continuity is not there. I think I've already seen that. And in terms of Aquaman, I think I've read this from you already. Yeah, definitely If it's not going to work for everybody. Like, I'm just going to say that it's not going to work for everybody. And like, I'm just going to, Zack Snyder says, he doesn't sweat the details of any of the other director stuff. He approved it. He says it's okay. Obviously, it's not okay with you, so that's okay. That's okay too. You can ignore that part and just stick with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just stick with Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just stick with that. It'll be a lot healthier. The Rebel Prince. Hey, Chris, I'm continually getting over my dislike of the 4:3 aspect ratio. I just set up my new 555-inch Samsung, which I specifically got for when the Snyder Cut comes out, and I watched the trailer again, and it looked incredible. It does. I've tried it out, and it's really cool. Also, I was thinking about the Flashpoint movie, and I think it would be a great opportunity for Warner Brothers to use HBO Max and make the movie an event similar to the comic book storyline, but doing tie-in 20 to 30-minute short films on HBO Max, extending the Flashpoint world, showing the changes that Barry has made from other characters' perspectives, like Wonder Woman versus Aquaman, or from the Shazam kids' point of view, or something like that. Just speculating, really, they probably won't do that. Wow, that would be pretty interesting to see little clip-its or even little mini movies. In a way, it kind of reminds me of it's what Marvel is doing on Disney Plus, where you have the Loki series, the Falcon, Winter Soldier, whatever, WandaVision. It's like after the big event, all these different things are set up for their own little adventures. Of course, I think those are series, or is it a movie? I'm not sure. I don't remember, but that could be something. I mean, that's why we're kind of talking about, hey, maybe that Batflick movie, or it could be a series or something, Cyborg series, and that'd be kind of cool to just, extend beyond, extend the Snyderverse beyond Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right. So I'll end with that. I think that was all the questions. Yep. Thank you so much for putting your comment and question. Like I said, there's a lot more comments and questions now. Let's keep it at that length if possible, so I can read each one at a certain breath. And then that way it will allow other people to put a lot more into. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of DC content and movie shows and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on. I'll see you next time. Bye.